Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? It is me, it's Keen. We're back. We're in the building with another episode of the Philly Talk with Key. And we on episode number 8. I'm on number 8. I'm almost to 10. But I got my guy. We got a special guest. Well, he ain't a special guest. Y'all know Coach Donte. He's in the building. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on? What's going on, Key? Thank you for having me on. Even though I've been on here several times
I
already,
know.
but thank you so much, though. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but it's just you exclusively. So
Yeah, yeah.
But we gonna get into things. We got the Texans versus the Eagles. We going down into Houston. Man, we got Houston and Philly going on in the World Series. We got the Eagles and the Texans in Houston. One's in Houston, one's in Philly. It's a Houston and Philly type of day, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure your city is crazy right now when it comes to that. How's the vibe down there?
Oh, it's great. It's still the same, man. Even though when we lose, the vibe's still the same. They're more frustrated about my Houston Texans than anything, but I'm not frustrated. I expected every bit of this. And the vibe is great. The vibe is good. Houston Rockets not doing so well, but it's expected for us to be struggle. So at the end of the day, my vibe is straight. I don't know how everybody else vibe.
Well, you
In
already
Houston.
know how Philly is right now. The vibe is crazy anyway because the Eagles are 7-0. The Phillies are in the World Series. The Sixers finally are 500-foot basketball 4-4, and the Flyers aren't doing too bad. And then the dang on soccer team got a nerve to be in the playoffs. I don't follow soccer, but you gotta stay with the city.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a great time to be a Philly fan. Period. And Villanova is about to start playing, so college basketball is in the works too.
hmm
But tell the peoples how long have you been a Houston Texans fan, and when you started to follow them.
Well, I know about the Houston Oilers. When I was 1990 area, I know about the
Willie, don't
Houston
do me
Oilers.
like that. Willie, don't do me like that.
Yeah, everything sucks. He said, "I knew about the like I said, I knew about the Houston Oilers, but I just never been around. Like I was born, when I saw them. I never just took a glimpse and look. Absolutely, I used to be a Rams fan. I actually used to be a Rams fan, but when the Texans came in 2002, so that's when I started. That was the first official franchise that's back in Houston. That was the Houston team that moved to Tennessee. But now that they brought back the Houston Texans in 2002 in the David Carr and the Andre Johnson area, so I'm from Houston, so I had to fly back to Houston. So I've been a Houston fan technically since 2002.
All right, well, look, close enough. I mean, you general knowledge back there. It's not like you just hopped on a team.
Yeah,
Definitely some background there, and of course, you've been the Rockets and Astros since day one. I'm assuming, right?
since day one, y'all been a Rockets and I've been a Rockets and Astros fan since day one. So of course I was born like I say 1990, but I was 4 and 5 years old when the Rockets won their first championship. So I pretty much I watched it a little bit, but I didn't know much of it. So like I said, I've been a Rockets fan ever since then.
Look,
So
at least, even though you was a young 4-5, at
yep.
least you seen your squad win the
Yeah,
championship.
win the championship.
Because
I've seen him win back to back with Keem Elijah won throughout the time he wanted to lead the Rockets. It was the time he wanted to lead the Rockets, but until they got Leslie Alexander, the owner. So you know what? Then the Astros, of course, they used to be in the NL with St. Louis. The NL
mhm.
Central was St. Louis and the Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates and stuff like that. So I was born. I was around when they were struggling and when they had Lance Bourbon, Jeff Badwell, Craig Biggio, Morgan Ensberg, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte, all of those guys, Richard Hidalgo, all of those guys and stuff like that. So I've been an Astros and Rockets fan all my life.
Like I said, at least you got to see a young Coach Donte got to see his basketball team, which he loves, a championship. Unlike me, my championship I didn't see. You know why I didn't see it? Because it came after I
Yep.
was born. 83, and then I came the year after. So I didn't even see a whiff of that. So
Yep.
but at
I
least
get
I
the
get
I used to like I say before, I became a Wings fan last year. Before I became a Wings fan, I used to be a diehard Comets fan. I seen them won 4 straight championships, dominate the WNBA, dominate.
uh, the only team in the sports history of any sport to win 4 championships
In a
in
row.
a row.
In a row.
Um,
Four. They won
Shout
4 in
out
a
to the
row.
Houston Comets. I'm not even going to hold you. Like I said, I've been a Sparks fan since the beginning of the WNBA, and seeing those Houston Comets go to the championship every year, they was on my list of when it came to uh couldn't stand Houston. It was just something about them. I'm just like, they always winning. They
Yep.
are always winning. What's going on, Flame? They are always winning. So it's just like, somebody got to beat the Comets. And then, but shout out to the Comets, Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson. Those girls definitely was balling. And like I said, they in the history books.
Yep.
So let's talk about this Texans team. Of course, now when it comes to the Eagles, I have seen the dang on championship in my lifetime. Thank God, because I never thought I would see one. 2017 is when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But some little history here in the regular season history. The Eagles have faced the Houston Texans a total of 5 times and won all 5 times. Um, the last time that these teams met was back in December 23rd of 2018 in Houston. Eagles did get a 2-point win, 32-30. That must have been back when we stunk. Oh, that was after the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last game that was in Philly was this November 2nd, 2014, and the Eagles won 31-21. So it looks like the last couple times we played, the games has been really close. Some key notes here: the Eagles can be the first team to go 8-0 in their franchise history, and then Jalen Hurts for 285 yards, and career high 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for career high 140.6 in rating in week 4. You see anything else? Javon Hargrave have his 5th career 2-sack game last week. Then we had CJ Gardner Johnson, his 4th career sack and career high 4 interceptions of the on the season last week, and aims to be his 4th week in a row for an interception. On the Texas side, Davis Mills passed for 152 yards and a touchdown and interception last week. And 9 career home games starts, he has 2,314 yards per game and 17 touchdowns versus 4 interceptions for 104.7 rating. Davis Mills. So tell me about your team. We all know the Texans had that all those picks in the first round this season. So with your third pick, you get Derek Stingley Jr., who you was very happy over. So tell us why you was happy over Derek Stingley Jr.
Generational talent at the cornerback position. Played 254 snaps. Not given up a touchdown through the toughest receiving core that he faced. If you look at week 1, number 1 receiver Michael Pittman Jr., who is the number 1 for Indianapolis, but you got people saying he ain't a number 1, but he is a number 1 wide receiver. The very next week, you have Cortland Sutton. You have to go against Cortland Sutton. You have to go against Cortland Sutton, who's the number 1 wide receiver from the Broncos. Very next week, Mike Williams. You had Mike Williams. If you're able to hold your own against him. Very next week, Jacksonville Jaguars. You have Christian Kirk. He didn't get a pass thrown his way like that, and that's the day he caught his first interception. You look at the very next week. Yeah, you had a bye week. You had to go against Devontae Adams. Statistically, Devontae Adams is a top 2 corner in the NFL because Cooper Kupp is playing well. So when I know Devontae Adams had yards, but check this: 68% of the time, man-to-man coverage, Derek Stingley was on him. Guess how many passes Devontae Adams caught? He caught one more pass that he caught the other day. 2 passes caught on Derek Stingley for 22 yards. That's when he was on him, man to man, 68% of the time. That's basically a whole ball game. So he's proven with top-notch competition this week. This week, he had to go against. Well, he didn't have to go against no top-rated receiver. But if you look at who the Titans had, Robert Woods, Traylon Burks, they didn't throw the ball like that. So it was a reason why I was hounding this guy. He was hurt. He had foot surgery coming out of college. He rehabbed in the draft. He ran the 4.37, and he's a generational talent. He's a generational talent. Even if we got Sauce, I would have been. I was the main one high on Sauce, and a lot of people went high on him. Now Sauce has proven that he can be a top rated cornerback. So both of those cornerbacks did great. Is doing great right now. Have not given up a touchdown, and I'm very impressed with what I've seen with Darius Stingley so far.
All right, so that was your third pick. For your second pick, because you had a couple picks in the first round. Who was your second pick in the first round?
King Green at number 15, who we traded back. I think we traded back with you guys. I think we swapped places. We went up to 15. Y'all came down to number 12, I believe. Y'all came down to number 12. Again, King Green had his worst week last week against Jeffrey Simmons. He had his worst week last week. He got on last week. It's going to take him a couple of years to get going, but I believe King Green is going to be an all-pro offensive lineman someday in this league. Prior to the ass whooping that he took last week against Jeffrey Simmons, he's been solid. He's been solid out there, but he played against better players, and he will be playing against very great players on Thursday night. But he's been able to hold his own. But except last week, he got his ass whooped last week.
All right, so offensively, Davis Mills, yes, this is his second year, and last year Davis Mills was a pretty good quarterback, highest quarterback in all the rookies last year. So tell me about your team offensively. What do you like? What do you like about this team offensively, and what don't you like?
What do I like about this team offensively? Well, I love the running back, Damian Pierce. That's about the only thing, I can really say that's going on with our offense right now is the running back, Damian Pierce. He's second in the league in missed breaking tackles. He's very good. He catch out of the backfield, very tough runner. Even when he's caught, when you think he's caught in the backfield, he finds a way to get up out of the backfield and get some tough yards. But our offense has been struggling all year. Our receiving core have trouble getting wide open, and other than that, Davis Mills he's regressed. He's not progressed the way I thought he would do. But again, Pep Hamilton in the offensive scheme at times and the play calling been questionable. But also Davis Mills got to get the job done. He's got to be able to get the job done in tough time situations. He's got to be able to be a leader and somehow make these receivers better. Brandon Cooks has checked out pretty much on the Houston Texans. But the reason why we didn't trade him yesterday because Nico Collins is hurt and we don't have the depth. We don't have the depth to make him expendable. If Nico Collins was at least healthy, then we could have made him a little bit expendable. We just got OJ Howard in the offseason this year. The Tyler Johnson experiment did not work out, who everybody was campaigning for. That did not work out. And we just got a lot of holes to fill on the offense. So it ain't too much to be excited about on the offense. But Damian Pierce has been a very good plus. And Nico Collins was getting better. He was getting better from last year. He was getting better since his rookie season last year. But other than that, not too much going on with the offense to be proud about, but Damian Pierce.
Definitely. Damian Pierce is I'm not gonna lie, I had him on my mock draft for the Eagles to take, in the later rounds. If it wasn't him, it was James Cook I had, and the Eagles didn't get neither one. So, but the Damian Pierce has definitely been a great addition to that Texans team. He was great when he was in Florida. He's showing that now. Why he's high on, why you're high on him, definitely, because he's on fantasy of mine. And I knew everybody else like, oh, I'm not going to pick him. Well, shoot, I'm going to pick him. Because, he's definitely giving me some yards. In that very first game, you called it. You said he was going to run about 20 yards on his very first touch. I don't know what crystal ball you've been looking at lately, Donte. I don't know what type of premonitions and dreams you be having, but you've been calling a lot of stuff lately. But you did call that. Touch on that.
Oh, like I say, I just seen it. I just seen it in camp, man. I just seen it, and I've been hearing about it in camp, and I've been watching it in camp, and it's hard work. I'll say you can find a lot of value in the draft, like in the third round and anywhere in the draft. You can just find that value. And I watched what he did again in Florida. The guy's tough. He's hard nosed, and he's ready to compete. It was the reason why, Marlon Mack. I thought him and Marlon Mack would be in the backfield together, but he ran Marlon Mack up out of that with a unanimous decision. And by like coming out in boxing, you beat someone with a unanimous decision so bad that the judges don't, it won't, you beat someone so bad and you whoop somebody so bad and you dominate the fight to the point where the judges make sure it's a victory, where you make sure that this fight don't be close. And that's what Damian Pierce did. He dominated Marlon Mack so much in camp, and wasn't no need to keep Marlon Mack. So now Marlon Mack is a journeyman all of a sudden. So, but Damian Pierce deserved it, and he runs hard every time he gets the football.
Now coming into the season, I know we did our record predictions, and you said maybe that the Texans would get four wins. You
I
predicted.
said by like seven, 8, 7, by 7 wins, 7 wins, 7-10.
So are you surprised that they're not there yet, or is there still more games left that you
There's
think
still
they
more
can?
games left, but I'm not surprised that they're this bad. At the same time, I'm not surprised that they're this bad. Like I said, when you just look at schedule, you look at the games, and you look at the roster, you look at the games that you think, hey, I think the Texans can handle this game. I think the Texans can do this game. But then again, you can do all the predictions, but you just got to still get up on the field and play those games. But I knew the Texans had potential to win only 4 or 5 games. They have the roster to win only 4 or 5 games. So at the end of the day, knew this. Like I say, I just know the Texans, just know the team, and just know right now we're just not good enough to beat any team that's better than us. And we just still managed to keep a game close. Somehow we managed to keep a game close. Throughout this the running game, been getting squished in the running game, been getting tore up. People didn't ran over 300 yards on us, 280, and we still managed to keep the game close. So other than that, like I say, eventually if you keep keeping the game close, you're gonna come out with one. But our offense hasn't shown me enough that they can come out with one of these close games.
Definitely the games against the Colts. I think y'all should have won that and not tied.
Yeah.
It definitely went back and forth in that game, and I thought y'all was going to pull it out. I was rooting for y'all against the Titans because no, you had to put Malik Willis out there. Tannehill didn't play. Y'all only lost by 7. I feel like but Derrick Henry just ran all up and down the field.
I mean, it just
219 yards.
it happens. It been happening all year though. Khalil Herbert ran all over us. Everybody that every running game has been doing the same thing, but somehow we still managed to keep a game close. Other than that, I don't know how you keep a game close when when you just running the football alone. But like I say, that just shows you how improved our secondary been too though. So our secondary haven't allowed a lot of big plays either. So that's why why the games has been really close.
Yeah, most definitely. So I know, as you said, Derek Stingley has not had, has held receivers down in check. What do you think this game plan going into Philly, knowing that the Eagles do have an AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard, even Zach Pascal, seen flashes of him. Just overall, this offense. What does the Houston Texas defense have to do to try to stop this red hot Eagles offense?
Well, on something that I know they're not gonna do, stop the run. That's the main thing. You got to stop the run. Got to stop the run for anything before anything. If you can stop the run, hey, you can make a team one dimensional. That's fine. That's how you can have an opportunity to win games. But at this opportunity, you stop the run. You still got AJ Brown them over there and Devontae Smith over there. But again, like I said, our secondary has been holding their own. They have been doing a good job of covering. And we don't have the best of linebackers either. We don't have a good linebacker core now. Christian Harris, number 48, the other rookie that we got out of Alabama, he's pretty athletic. He's been playing pretty good football since he's getting better and better every week. But every pass each team complete, it be somehow right there over the middle. So, I like our chances of our secondary competing with the wide receivers. Not saying we're not going to stop them. We're not going to stop them. Of course, A.J. Brown is going to get his. Of course, Devontae Smith. And of course, you got Dallas Goddard over the middle. And of course, you got to account for Jalen Hurts when he does run. So again, I like our secondary competing, but like I said, I'm not going to say we're going to stop them, but they will compete. They love to compete. That's what they love to do.
So how is your front four against our offensive line? Do you think they can pressure Jalen Hurts?
I think in a passing game, they can get a lot of pressure. They can get pressure in a passing game. The run game, they can't get no penetration in the run game. I think they do a lot better in the passing game than they do in the run game. I think they can for if they can get constant pressure on Jalen Hurts, make him throw the ball, get the ball out of his hands early, and not sit back there in the pocket, I think they can be fine. But as far as the run game, we don't have that much penetration. We get blocked off of the line for. So as far as the run game, we don't have a shot. But as far as the passing game, I think we can possibly get back there to Jalen Hurts.
Do you think Lovey Smith can outdo Nick Sirianni? If so, what's your factors to this game if the Texans want to beat the Eagles?
If they want to beat the Eagles, I mean, you're going to have to stop them run. You're going to have to create turnovers. You're going to have to create turnovers. You're going to have to take the ball away. I'll say we up there in the top 10 in takeaways like we did last year. We take the ball away. We take the ball away quite a few. The problem is we don't stop. Our Achilles heel is it's the run game. That's just our Achilles heel. Our Achilles heel is the run game alone. We have been able to take the ball away. We have been able to cover guys. Our secondary has done a great job. They're on top of the league, not top of the league, but they're in the top 10 in interceptions. They take in takeaways. I mean, Stingley has an interception. Jalen Petrie has 2 interceptions. Desmond King, I believe, has an interception. And you have Steven Nelson, who had his first interception last week. We have been able to force takeaways, force fumbles, get sacks. We have been able to do that. The problem is we have not been able to stop the run.
Yeah, most definitely. So definitely before on the Eagle side of things with Houston, we definitely have to stop a Damian Pierce because it's been up sometimes in our defense has been suspect at times when it comes to the run, especially a good running back. So definitely, I don't play no team lightly. You saw what happened in Detroit, only won by 3 games. And again, Houston comes in, plays hard. I'm not counting them out either because they can go up and beat the best of teams. Just like last year, what happened? They beat a Chargers team. Um, so any given Sunday, well, any given Thursday in this case, anybody could definitely win. So definitely can't take nobody lightly, especially so is who's all your receivers? Brandon Cooks definitely is playing and Nico Collins is playing, right?
Nico Collins will not be playing. He will not be playing. He will not be playing this weekend because I think he had a groin injury. So our receivers come down to Brandon Cooks. We have Chris Moore out there, and we have Brandon Cooks. We have Chris Moore out there. Those are our 2 wide receivers, and we have basically OJ Howard, Jordan Akins, and we do have Brevin Jordan as the tight ends out there. So yeah, we're pretty thin at the wide receiver position. Of course, we don't have a John Metchie who's dealing with cancer, but he will be back. Probably he will be back next year, and I think we will end up getting a receiver in the draft as well.
So you probably Texas probably looking at another top 10 pick this year.
Yeah, we got 2 picks. We got the number 2 pick and we got the number 9 pick right now. I'm happy about that. Happy. Hey, capitalize on them picks, we'll be fine.
They'll come in handy. So far in college, who are you possibly looking at? And I know we definitely won't get in that till later on in off season time, but who is your eye on?
Well, my eyes on like I say, it's just hard right now, but like I say again, if we decide to stick with Davis Mills as a quarterback, I say go defense. I say go Jalen Carter with the pick number 2 or Will Anderson. But I respect to go with Jalen Carter and get you a receiver. Jackson Smith, the Jitma, you got him. You got Jordan Addison as a receiver. We do need another pass catcher. John Metchie will be back. Brandon Cooks, we're gonna I think we need to trade him during the offseason or do something with him because his attitude has been outrageous. You said we're holding your game back, and we were holding your game back. Well, you signed the 2-year extension. That's your fault. You can't blame nothing but yourself. You signed the 2-year extension at the same time to stay with us. So hey, you holding your own self back. So I say again, I just think pick number 2, Jalen Carter. I like him. And I would like to get a receiver as well. But also we need a backup running back. We do need a backup running back as well, like a Bijan Robinson or something like that to complement Damian Pierce. So it can go either way. But like I say, we decide to keep Davis Mills, go defense heavily, and go get a receiver in the draft. But if we decide if they are iffy about Davis Mills, go ahead and draft the quarterback. And if you're gonna draft the quarterback, do it at pick number 2. You go with Bryce Young. You go with Bryce Young, someone that's a playmaker that can put the team on his back, that can make plays. You do with that. If they're iffy on the quarterback situation, which is Davis Mills is making that case right now of his regression. He's making that case right now. You can argue we could get a quarterback, but like I say, what I know what the organization going with, no, I do not. I only knew they were going with Derek Stingley because Lovie Smith loved him and he was high up on them. 2 days before the draft, he said he would love to have Derek Stingley. That's how I knew. When I used to switch up my mock drafts, I started picking Derek Stingley because Lovie Smith wanted Derek Stingley, and that's how I kind of started picking him in my mock drafts all of a sudden.
Depending on who will be the number one overall pick, which probably looks like it's the between y'all and Detroit.
Yeah.
Could you see a Will Anderson going to either team?
I can see a Will Anderson going to either team, but I also can see Detroit moving on from Jared Goff too and getting a quarterback. I also can see that as well. So depends on that who Detroit pick if it holds up. Depends on who they pick. It's gonna have a lot of input on who the Texans will draft.
Because we will depend on where the Saints. I forget where the Saints are right now, because of course, they won a game. So, but we Eagles get the number one overall pick from the Saints. Um, the Texans better draft a QB and focus on that offensive line. That's all they need. I can definitely see y'all getting like you said, a QB, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, depending on like you said, depending on where Detroit goes. Because I don't know if Detroit will win any other games. They might sneak out one or so, but I don't see them. Definitely see Chicago up there in the mix. So this next year's draft in the top 10 is definitely going to be interesting. So we'll definitely see. But y'all little key pieces here and there. Y'all slowly getting y'all defense together. It's offensively definitely y'all need help with. Maybe some more receivers. If y'all get a complete team together, maybe y'all can pull a veteran in. A guy, not nobody old, but somebody that's been around a lot and can know places. Like Brandon Cooks was supposed to be that guy, but is he turning into Finding Nemo? Is
I
your
mean,
turn?
it's
Is
turning
he
into
Finding
Finding Nemo a
Nemo?
lot because he's complaining a lot, and I just got news that he's expecting to ask for a release soon. Like I say again, I'm a big fan of if you don't want to be here, don't force the man to be here. Let him go. You want guys that want to be a part of your organization. That's what you want guys to be. And he the one signed the 2-year extension, so it's his fault. He signed the 2-year extension, so he held his own self back. But other than that, I say, man, if Davis, like I say, it can go either way. If the Texans looking at a quarterback, I wouldn't be mad at them for doing that. But also, quarterback does need capable weapons. If you don't have capable weapons, you can also hold a quarterback that. So I mean, I look at it both ways. I would not mind them getting a quarterback, like Vic said, but also you just got to look at the roster as a whole. You got to look at the roster as a whole. Look at what Davis Mills has around him. What does he has around him? You got a Nico Collins, and you got to check out Brandon Cooks. Nico Collins is not playing. Brandon Cooks is not playing. So the wide receiver core is thin. So that's another thing we kind of gotta take place when we look at a roster before we saying you need a quarterback. You need to draft a quarterback. We need to look at a roster as a whole. Right now, it can go either way. I can't be mad if we end up drafting a quarterback either way, but any quarterback needs type of weapons. You need some type of weapons to see if you have the quarterback or not. Now, I've been saying I don't know if Davis Mills is the guy. I've been saying that, and right now he has regressed when he did have Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins on the field. He's been asking that, but at the same time, we don't have the guys. We don't have the players. We don't have the players. Our players are not good enough to get wide open. It ain't the coaching staff. Yeah, the coaching staff makes bad play calling, but sometimes you got to execute. So I'm a big fan of holding players accountable. And right now we don't got good enough players. We don't got the good enough players. So sometimes I ask myself, is it really Davis Mills or is it really the team that's constructed around them? Sometimes I look at it both ways.
Vic said, ask yourself, do you see Davis Mills progressing, being that guy you need for the next 6 to 8 seasons? If there's any doubt, draft a quarterback now.
Like I say, that only the organization can think that part. Like I said I don't know. But other than that, if the organization doesn't see Davis Mills as the quarterback, then you drop the quarterback. You don't hesitate. If you don't see him being a part of the future, if you don't see him part of being a part of your future, then you drop the quarterback. If you see that, then you go strictly defense and you get you some weapons that can go around them, that can help them out. If that's only only the organization can answer that. Answer
Like
that question.
we excuse me, we said that about Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel, we was like, oh, he stinks, but he don't have who is he throwing to? Look at his staff and who's he throwing to? Who has Who has Daniel Jones been throwing to for the last 4 or 5 seasons he's been
Is
in the
his
Giants?
weapons been hurt? Not consistently on the field. I mean, they're 5-3 team right now. So at the end of the day, like I say I look at it both ways. If you don't have the horses that can kind of help you out, then hey, like I said, I mean, but if you do have the weapons that's on the field consistently, hey, then you'll know if the quarterback is not good or not. And I'm not saying Davis Mills is a trash quarterback. He's an average quarterback right now. He's an average quarterback right now, but you got to see when he has weapons, around him. Last year, he overachieved with the same weapons the same weapons that he had. This year, they're hurt. Brandon Cooks checked out. Hey, I say if the Texans organization doesn't feel like this guy's the quarterback of the future, then hey, they'll drop the quarterback. They'll drop the quarterback. But if they do see him and get him some competent weapons, that means hey, they see him as that, or they'll give him an extra shot to see, hey, we got your weapons now. Let's see what you can go out there and do. That way, if you stink it up, we know it's you. We know it ain't our weapons. We'll know it's you.
So do you think like the Texans could have potentially went around and guess the league, trading deadline to try to get some pieces in, or you knew they wasn't going to try to, of course we knew they was trying to shop Brandon Cooks because he did come up. Did you see them trying to? Well, did Nico Collins get hurt? So you said that's probably why he didn't
Yeah.
get. But if Collins wasn't hurt, would Brandon Cooks be out of here?
I think he will be out of here, but also he has $18 million, and no team don't want to take the $18 million salary that he got. So other than that, he's staying put in Houston. That's what made it hard for him to trade him because no team want to take that 80 not $80 million, but that 18 mil on their book. So that's why another reason why he hasn't been traded. I mean, you don't want to take that a lot of almost 20 million coming off your cap space. That takes some of your cap space that you already have on the team. So that's part of the reason why he's trading, and he's drawing frustrated of him not being traded, and he's expect to ask for a release soon. Like I said, if he doesn't want to be here, you go ahead and release him. You just go ahead and release him. You just let him be happy.
I mean, he's still a serviceable wide receiver. I mean, he's with throughout the quarterbacks that has had successful 1,000-yard seasons. Even still, so let's look at Justin Fields real quick. I know he's with the Chicago Bears and he just got Chase Claypool. Do you kind of put Fields in that category as well of not seeing what he's fully capable of because he doesn't have anybody to throw to?
You seen him in that same situation, but at the same time, like I say, he is a dual threat quarterback, and he can escape the pocket. He can escape the pocket and run around for a little bit just to buy time for the receivers to get wide open. He's a different playing style and different element of his game. Davis Mills doesn't do that. But the problem is, yes, I see the same thing that's holding him back. He doesn't have an offensive line, and he doesn't have a great receiving core. Now they're trying to get Chase Claypool to help Darnell Mooney and help fix that. Do I think it will help? I don't know. That remains to be seen. We'll see. I guess we'll see on Sunday. Will it help? But he's in the same predicament. He doesn't have a good receiving core, and he doesn't have a good offensive line. And people question him about, is he the guy? You got to get a quarterback some type of weapons to help him out. That's what the Eagles did from Jalen Hurts. They got A.J. Brown to make it more easier for him. Devontae Smith, when they had Devontae Smith, he was struggling last year. Let's not forget about that. He struggled with Devontae Smith, and a lot of Eagles fans said, hey, he didn't have no weapons. Now he got A.J. Brown. Now he got Pascal. And how has this turned out for him? It's turned out great for him. So other than that, that's proven that a quarterback does need some type of weapons. And other than that, hey, if you don't a quarterback that doesn't need that type of way, hey, that's just you. You're just good. Like a Deshaun Watson. You're just him. He's just being that good. He's just being that good. But like I say, Every quarterback needs some type of weapons. They need some type of weapons. Yes, you want to elevate a squad. You got to be the quarterback. You got to elevate that team, and you got to elevate the players around you. But it's gonna be hard to do it when your receiver core cannot get open, cannot get wide open. Look at Aaron Rodgers. How is he struggling? He doesn't have the horses. He has Robert Tonyan, and he has a rookie Romeo Dobbs. Derek Carr has weapons, and he's still struggling. Derek Carr has weapons, and he's still struggling. To move past the 50-yard line, he's still struggling. How you struggle with the Devontae Adams and the Hunter Winthrow, and you can't even get past the 50-yard line? How is you still struggling? That's, like I say again, that's a prime example of that. I mean, like I say, you'll know if it's the quarterback, you'll know if it's players. You can blame it on the coaching all you want to, but at the same time, the players got to get out there and execute. Players got to get out there and execute too.
That's just like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has plenty of weapons, and the Jets. They're starting off pretty good. Um, you can't say or is it Zach Wilson or not, because he do got a couple. He got what? He got Garrett over there, Garrett Wilson. He
Gary
got
Wilson, yep.
a lot. Well, Elijah Moore's going. He went to the Chargers, I think. Oh no.
So he go?
Wait, I don't know. I seen that report, but I don't know if it was.
Oh, did he get traded?
I think he's still with the
Okay,
Jets.
okay.
That might have been a false report that I saw. I was like, wait a minute, he went to the Chargers. But they got a good receiving core over there. They just got to see if Zach Wilson is that guy. Trying to see, what else I had for you here when it came down to the Texans and things. Give me your honest score prediction.
My honest score prediction, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia 27-13. 27-13 is my honest score prediction.
I definitely had that in that range.
I think we get beat by 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
at least.
Lord, I'm sorry. I'm just getting Sixers news now. Milton's out, so no Milton and no Joel Embiid against the Wizards team. So Matisse Thybulle is going to start. Matisse is in the starting lineup.
Wow, he gonna come in and make a shot for you guys.
I haven't completely fully watched the whole Sixers game yet. But I've been seeing bits and pieces. But Matisse Thybulle will start along with James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and PJ Tucker because Embiid's out. So that means we are taking an L today. That's what that means, because D'Anthony Milton is like the spark off the bench. Now he's getting comfortable. He's scoring off the bench. We're not gonna have that bench. We're not gonna have that bench play.
Yeah.
So, federal prosecutors opening a criminal investigation into allegations Commanders engaged in their financial improperties. The Washington Commanders just can't win. Daniel Snyder is trying to sell the team now finally, and he's just a cancer to that Washington team. Just like everything else that's going on. We're not gonna switch it over to the NBA since we talking Houston. What's going on with your Rockets? I know you was big on the draft. You got Jabari Smith Jr. in here. How is he going to help with this young core that y'all have?
Jabari Smith right now, he's struggling shooting the basketball. At this point. But like I say, Jalen Green, I look at Jalen Green, he struggled a lot too. He struggled a lot at the beginning of last year. So I'm not concerned. Most of the open shots that he's getting, is wide open. Is pretty wide open, most of the shots he's getting. But he does play great defense. He does play hard on the defensive side of the ball. So I think his offense will come to him, but it starts with Coach Steven Silas as well, giving him the ball and let him work. Giving him the ball, you got to scheme more plays. You got to get more plays open for him. You got to get him some touches, even more. Give him some opportunities where he can put the ball on the floor and make a play. He hasn't gotten enough opportunities, and I expected this Rockets team to be the way it is. Struggle. A lot of teams are just better than we are, and we're just a young team. We don't have a true point guard at all. Kevin Porter Jr. is a shoot first point guard. He's not a pass first point guard. And Jalen Green has also been struggling. He's also been struggling with his jump shot. Tari Eason, who I did campaign for in the first round of draft, him saying, "Give me Tari Eason," and that's what you said. Golly, Donte. And then, like I said, he's been really, really good. He's been really, really awesome for this team. I wish he stopped playing Garrison Matthews and put in Josh Christopher a little bit more. I wish he stopped playing Garrison Matthews a lot. But other than that, it's everything I kind of expected. Shane Alp has kind of took his game up another level with his playmaking, with his posting up, and with his 3-point shooting being improved right now. So at the end of the day, I just knew this team was not gonna win so many games, but they're out there fighting hard. They had a chance to win the other night. Paul George got on fire, just caught on fire. Just a better shot by Paul George over Eric Gordon. And like I said, just a couple of turnovers, a couple of possessions that the Rockets did not execute on.
I guess the only team we really have some hope for is your Astros,
Mm-hmm.
huh? And of course, they're in the World Series with Philly right now. They're losing the series 2-1. Game 4 is tonight. Um, overall, it's just been a fun World Series. We all knew what Houston was about in this today in this in at AL. We all knew what they were about. Damn near led the AL East Central all season long. Like, was y'all never out of first place?
Yeah, we was out of first place at the beginning of the season. That was when the Angels were really, really good. That was when the Angels were really, really good before they went on that streak. Cause y'all put the butt whooping on them in that 4-game series. But we was out of first place at the beginning of the season, and we could hit, but we couldn't hit the ball out the infield. And other than that, after that beginning of the season, I knew the Angels weren't gonna keep the lead. I knew we were gonna come back and pass them up. After the Angels lost that lead, lost in Philadelphia, and we was getting hot, that's the moment we took over. That's the moment we took over the NL West, AL West lead.
So let's just say if Houston doesn't win the World Series, is this it for Dusty Baker?
I think it will be. I think it will be. If he wins the World Series, he will repeat. He will repeat and come back. But if he doesn't, I think he retires.
Like I said, I won't be mad if like I said, the Philly somehow don't win this World Series. Dusty Baker, if out of all managers, he definitely deserved to win one. He's been close so many times. He was with the Giants and all the others. He's seen a lot of baseball, just hasn't hit one, just hasn't got one. Um, what does Jose Altuve got to do?
Uh, he's got to have better at bats at the plate. I mean, again, last year, this season, he started off terrible. He started off bad. He was striking out every at bat. He got hot. He got hot in the second half. He got hot in the middle of the season. He got hot. Something that Altuve always does. He always starts off slow and gets hot for some reason. He always starts off slow and he always gets hot for some reason. But he got to put up better at bats. He's got to stop chasing pitches out of the zone. That's the only way Altuve is going to start hitting. Now, the first hit of the game last night, that was a pretty solid hit. Castellanos made an awesome play on him. So other than that, he's got to have better plate discipline. He's got to be better at the plate.
So Rob Thompson already came out and said if the Phillies win tonight, they will not use Zach Wheeler tomorrow in Game 5. It's going to be Noah Syndergaard. Interesting move, Rob Thompson. He's setting it up to where he knows it's probably just in case it goes down in Houston, knowing that he's going to need those guys out the bullpen because Syndergaard has came out the bullpen before. Suarez has came out the bullpen. He's probably going to need those guys to come off the bullpen. You might see some of the starters in the bullpen come out. So, Rob Thompson.
I would love for the Astros to beat up Aaron Nolan tonight so he can make that happen. To make Noah Syndergaard pitch in a difficult situation. I would love for that to happen. But at the same time, if the Astros you don't want to get yourself in a position where you got to go back to Houston, though. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. You want to pitch probably your best, probably Zach Wheeler. You may want to pitch him to get the series over with. But I hope if we can just find a way to beat up on Aaron Noah again, boy. Noah Syndergaard, I bet you gonna change his mind after this watch. Tonight he would change his mind. Watch this after this watch. He'll change his mind.
You never know.
If they lose, he'll change his mind. Watch.
Because as long as we can get a couple great innings from Syndergaard and knowing how our bullpen is with Sir Anthony and Alvarez and D-Rob, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. Like I said, this series has been fun, man. Like it's just been a fun series. Who would have thought again that the Phillies would be even in this situation? Because I sure enough didn't.
Hmm.
I knew we would beat the Cardinals. I thought we was gonna have trouble with the Braves, honestly, but you made that look easy.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, we got Spencer Strider out quick and early. Um, hitting with these hitters. Bryce Harper, Swerber, pretty much everybody in the lineup. Gene Segura definitely has been hitting. Brandon Marsh got a home run yesterday, which you don't see too much of our back end do anything.
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely I was like, dang, we should have fired Girardi a long time ago if this was gonna happen. As soon as we fired Girardi, what happens? We in the World Series. I know he probably kicking himself in the butt right now. But if
He sure
Girardi
is.
stayed there, we definitely wouldn't be in this position. That I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
definitely
y'all definitely be a dumpster fire, probably.
everybody probably be like, oh, we want to go or we gonna leave. So do y'all have anybody on the Astros that's like scheduled to go? Like are they like on their last leg or you're pretty much together with y'all players?
I think we pretty much together with our players. I think the only difference is Kyle Tucker. Do we pay Kyle Tucker or do we let him go? We got it was a couple of players that I was in a Twitter space with, couple not couple players, but a couple people that was going over the contracts. We have Trey Mancini. It's kind of a contract where if he doesn't feel right, we can kind of let him go. We can kind of part ways on him. He's in a team friendly contract. If he doesn't like it, if he doesn't want to part ways, let him go. Kyle Tucker, you want to they got to figure out, do they want to pay him to bring him back? Do they want to kind of pay him? Again, you got Justin Verlander at the free agency block. Do you want to let him go? Do you want to let him go, or do you want to pay him? Uh, I say again, Lance McCullers, I believe he's on his last year. I might think about letting him go, letting him walk. He's not the same Lance McCullers that he used to be, but the Astros bring him back. I wouldn't be so upset. So the main concern is about it's between Kyle. It's gonna be between Kyle Tucker and Verlander. Do you pay Verlander or do you pay Kyle Tucker to come back? If I was the Astros, I might pay Kyle Tucker because you proved you can get to the World Series without Justin Verlander. We did that last year. We didn't have Justin Verlander all last year. We still ended up in the World Series. We still ended up in the World Series. So if I had, then again, you can let Kyle Tucker. You can let Kyle. You don't have to pay Kyle Tucker. If we get him on a 1 year deal, get him on a 1 year deal to next year. The C. You can let pay Justin Verlander. If you want to let Kyle Tucker go, you can do that because we've seen the Astros let people go and be able to make it to the World Series. You're gonna have Jose Benintendi, gonna have Andrew Benintendi, who's a free agent, this year. So you got some compliment free agents that you can use out there in the outfield as well. We're gonna need more of a center fielder. Chas McCormick is being very good in center field, but I would rather have another one. But the problem issue is going to be is just, do you pay Kyle Tucker or do you pay Justin Verlander? The Astros got a decision to make on that one.
Definitely. Gotta wrap things up because of course the boy, Mom, can you come get me?
Nah.
But the X factor for me for this game is knowing that how bad that your run defense is on the Texans side of the ball. I can definitely see Miles Sanders having over 100 yards, maybe him getting a couple touchdowns. But of course, we're going to see what Jalen Hurts can do with airing out the football. Um, Test Derek Stingley a little bit. Also throw to Devontae Smith. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout like 20, like 50 to 10, 40 to 10. It's going to be definitely somewhere in that 20 range. Like I'll probably go with the same as you, maybe 23, let's say 28-17 for me. I feel like, y'all are capable of putting up points, especially with that running game in Pierce. So you never know. Texans might shock us. So I'm going to say 28 to Matter of fact, 28-14.
Hey,
28-14.
I know I'm gonna be at practice, and I know you'll be doing the games. I know you'll be doing the game till I get up here. I just need to know one thing at practice. Let me know we get past the 50, okay? Just let me know we get past the 50-yard line. Let me know we get past the 50-yard line, because like I say, only reason we got past the 50 against Tennessee, the only reason, because we forced it. It was a drop punt that we recovered, and we caught an interception. Steven Nelson caught an interception and returned it to 20. Other than that, the offense, I don't think the offense went past the 50-yard line. Other than that, but so when I'm at practice, let me know when we get past the 50-yard line. Just let me
I'll
know. We
definitely
know.
I'll be like, oh my God, the Texans are in the red zone. But no, make sure y'all come on back here tomorrow. Coach Donte and myself will be calling the Texans Eagles game. Of course, he'll probably pop in the second half because when he gets home from practice, but we're gonna be streaming on live both channels. So make sure y'all come on in, have some fun, keep us company. Dante may need it, I may need it. You never know. Any given Thursday,
Yep.
what could happen. Um, but we are going to get on out of here. Make sure y'all come on back to the Coach Dante's channel later on tonight at 9:30 for the 10 count. All of your boxing pre-game preview topics around the boxing world. You don't want to miss that. Anything you gotta say before you get on out of here, Coach?
Nah, man, it's been an honor to do this. It's an honor to be a part of still it's an honor to be a part of the Sports Empire Network. It's an honor to, have me and you working together always and growing together to be close friends. And we got a bright future. Like I said, we gonna make it to the top, regardless of who don't like it or not. We're gonna make it to the top. So
Oh yeah,
uh,
definitely. Because we always see each other, whether it's Empire, whether it's on 7200 seconds, it's gonna be every Monday. We on East Coast Gridiron, like we are all
yeah, we
around.
all over
So
the place. We all
we're
over the
all over the
YouTube.
place.
We
But
all over the YouTube community. So
we
you
gonna get
can't
on
you
out of
can't
here.
miss us.
We gonna get on out of here, guys. Make sure again y'all tune in to everything we got going on. Don't want to miss it. But we gotta get out of here. The boy going to get me talking about some man, where you at? Like you on my time. I'm not rushing to pick you up. So I get there when I get there. But we're gonna get on out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all come on back to Coach Dante's channel later on at 9:30 for all of your boxing news. We're gonna get on out of here. We see y'all.